So I get to say my piece a little bit, and I'll try to be humorous a little bit, but I will not be politically correct. So if that offends you, well, that's too bad. I'm not even going to apologize. So first, I want to my main job is to welcome everybody. Olivia and Bryan, Dan and Sue, Melissa, Olivia's mother, and my wife Dee and I would all like to welcome you. We hope you have a happy and entertaining evening. We had a wonderful 2 days here in Chicago. The first day we arrived, my friends over here, the North Georgia white trash, Alabama princess brought us on a private jet, and I didn't pay much. It's not like I have a lot of money. I'm just a poor country cardiologist. Don't make much money. So, thank you. And then yesterday, we had a wonderful evening with Dan and Sue doing all this stuff at the restaurant, and the rehearsal dinner, and the party at the castle, the elephant in the castle afterwards. So we had a great evening. And then today we get on this trolley and we're going all over Chicago. Olivia's trying to get her dress all over everything, everywhere. And it's amazing what we did today. With some champagne, so it makes it easier for me to get up and talk. So we do that. We thank Dan and Sue for all that. It's a wonderful couple of days here. So I'm here to talk about Olivia, mostly. It's her day. Sorry, Bryan. So you might think, looking at this beautiful setting, this beautiful place, that Olivia's always been this way, had this wonderful life. This beautiful view, and everything's been wonderful. But first time in Chicago wasn't like that. First time in Chicago, I was an intern, and I'm sure that and Olivia was 2 years old, and I'm sure that if we had applied, we could have gotten food stamps. Very easy. Didn't only spend a year here, although I've spent a lot of time in Chicago. My great aunt lived here. We spent many a summer up here, so Chicago is kind of a second home. So here for a year, and we had 2 new people join our family while we lived here, Spencer and Madeline, and we'll get into that later. But they joined our family and made it a lot more difficult. Especially when I'm working 100 hours a week, and my wife was home with her 3 children by herself. But she had lots of help with some of the people that are not here this evening. This is where I may have trouble. Talking about my parents, talking about people that aren't here tonight. But yeah. Oh, good. So, we do have some grandparents here tonight. We've met some delightful people. Jerry and Doreen are here. The Tuies. And Barb Coyle is here tonight. And really enjoyed talking and spending some time with them. So they're here, and we're going to talk about other things with Olivia. Olivia, we moved from here to Iowa City, and in Iowa City, we lived at 1526 Aber. On Aber, everybody knew Olivia. We walked down the street, and we didn't know who these people were, but they would say, "Hi, Olivia." They all knew Olivia. For 3 years, we were in Iowa City, where I did my residency. Then we moved to New Orleans. New Orleans is a whole different place, a whole different country. Some would say a third world. It's the land of po' boys and drive-through daiquiri stores. in a great time of year, watermelon, where we can see just about anything. We've seen just about anything. Very wonderful. Our poor parents had to see some crazy things in New Orleans. And in New Orleans, first year there, Olivia went to public school. Public schools in New Orleans is kind of different. So the second year, somehow, I still wasn't making much money, but somehow we were able to afford Catholic school in a place called Immaculate Conception. And the first day at Immaculate Conception, Olivia was similar to today. The first thing she did today was she threw up. The first day at Immaculate Conception, pulling up in the old stinky blue Dodge Caravan, Olivia threw up. Not in the van, but she threw up.
On me.
I forgot that part of it. So, kind of a rough first day, but she made it through. So New Orleans for 3 years as a fellowship, and then I got in the Air Force. I was in the Air Force, and we moved to the Washington, D.C. area. We lived in Waldorf, Maryland, and I was thinking about the 1307 Greenmont or something like that. And Waldorf, 20 miles from Andrews, where I was stationed. I would go around the Beltway and do heart caths on Tuesdays at Bethesda. But while living in Washington, D.C. for a couple of years is a wonderful place to be. Any of you people been to a presidential inaugural? Anybody?
No.
Anybody? Well, I have 3 children that have been. What kid from Oklahoma has done that? You saw all the monuments, Civil War battle sites, just a wonderful 2 years in Washington, D.C. And then it was finally back to God. Oklahoma.
I have your students.
As long as you're not Longhorns, it's okay.
Yeah. All right.
And so 2 more Catholic schools, Marquette,
Woo!
Bishop County. Jenna didn't go to Marquette.
That's Mallory.
Mallory did.
So Mallory and Jenna, I remember playing. Jenna did go to Marquette, but they all played basketball and volleyball against each other. I'll never forget the first. Olivia's like her father, not much of an athlete. And we all tried. We played. We tried. Not much of an athlete. I remember the first time she made a basket during the game. She just looked to the side and put her hands up. Just amazing look. So Bishop Kelly, a little trouble there, but not too bad. He was able to get into OU and went to OU. Again, boom.
Sinner! Sinner!
And graduated there 4.5 years. Nice timing for 4.5 years business degree. And now has moved to Chicago. And now I'm going to talk about where is she?
I'm right here, I think.
There you go. She moved here with Jenna. Jenna Payne, now Jenna Harper, who I don't know. I have patience. But I worked on taking care of both of them. And I go in the room to see them, and they're in bed together. There are two ladies, and nice women, and it's kind of funny. It's like old men and a woman. You know, the man's my patient, and the woman's behind the man. She will say things that you can't imagine. You know, telling on him stuff that he does. So I have these 2 patients that are lesbians. I'll just say it. Not politically correct. Who the more male version is my patient. The female version is behind. And the female version would say, "Why don't you tell him how much beer you drink?" That kind of thing. So that's the relationship that we have with Jenna and Olivia. You may want to try to guess which is which. Jenna's the female, Olivia's the male. hope that doesn't hurt your feelings. So we're going to talk about, this guy named Jack back in Oklahoma. So she only stayed a year and moved back and married Jack, and we're happy there in Oklahoma, back in God's country. So good place. So Snyder National, Olivia's worked there for 5 years now. Okay, so now we've gotten to Bryan. 4.5 years ago, I was told yesterday, that's when they started dating. And Bryan is a wonderful guy. I just made sure when he asked me if he could marry my daughter, I said, make sure you know what you're getting into. As sweet as I can, honey. Being married is rough. If everybody understands, it's okay. And then we met the Millheisers, wonderful family. There's too many to count. A wonderful. I don't even know how many there are. So that's pretty much Olivia's life and what we've gotten to. And I'd just like to give 3 points of advice, maybe a fourth if I can get through that. 3 points of advice for young married couples. I'm not saying I always did what I was told, what I'm saying, or what I would recommend, but first is never lie to each other. I think that's very important. You may say, well, if she says, does my ass look fat in that dress? Don't tell the truth, then. The important stuff, don't lie. Secondly, don't go to bed mad at each other. I've heard lately that women might take a day or two to kind of get over it. Maybe you should wait a day or two, but don't let it fester. Don't stay mad. Don't let it fester so you stay mad at each other and don't talk to each other for days and weeks at a time. And then thirdly, I think marriage is not a 50-50 relationship. Any relationship like this is not a 50-50. It's 100%, 100%. So you give it all and expect nothing in return. And and then you'll never be disappointed. And then lastly, I'm going to sit down and shut up. It's getting tired of me. I was talking to these two over here last night. And I don't know if I can, maybe I shouldn't say this, but Allie and Axel. Axel became a citizen, you see. He's been talking to your grandfather, right? And he asked, what do I do to be a good citizen? And I say, I don't know what he's going to say, but I say just be a good parent, be a good husband, work hard, play hard, and do the right things. That's what being a citizen. You don't have to run for office. You don't have to make lots of money. Just be a good person. That's a good citizen. So I'll sit down. I'm gonna invite my brother, the other guy with the bow tie, come up and give the blessing. He's a better prayer than I am. He always does a good job at Thanksgiving.